If you get a organic molecule, that's step one that you've just learned. So when you look at the molecule, they're going to give you a molecule and it's maybe going to look like that. So your first thing that you have to do, so the first easy ones, the hydrocarbons, just has every single spot filled, and all these spots are filled with hydrogens. So they're all sharing electrons, and that will be your molecule, will look something like that. Okay? Then you go and look, okay, fine. How many carbons are there? There are prop carbons. There are three. So absolutely right. You know the name is going to have prop in it. Now, if there are only single bonds everywhere, then the name is going, then it's called an alkane. And then the name is going to end in propane. So because it's an alkane, it ends in ane. Single bonds only. If it has a double bond, so that means you have to take two things away to make a double bond, yeah. So that part you know. So then we have a double bond. So now it's not propane anymore. It's also not an alkane anymore. So now the anes are going to turn into enes, like you said, and ane will not be ane anymore, but it will be ene.
So it's still
Why is it
because it's
still three carbons? So that's your first job. Count the carbons. But now, if you give this name to someone on the other side of the world, they must be able to draw the same molecule. So are they going to draw this thing always? They know it's three carbons, so they know that. But they don't know where the double bond is going to be. But just look quickly. If I draw the double bond here or here, does it matter? No, it's still after the first carbon, so it doesn't matter. So actually, yes, if you give them propene, they will draw it the same. But now, if they give you this molecule, how many carbons do I have now? I'm not going to draw in all the hydrogens. You know, all of these must get a hydrogen. If you don't fill in all the hydrogens, you lose a mark. So this molecule, how many carbons? So you know it's bent. Are there any double bonds?
no.
Yep. But if I do have a double bond, I need to take two of these away and it will form a double bond for me. But now it's not pentane anymore. What is it now?
So it's pentene.
So it's going to be pentene.
And
But now, yeah,
taking from the side that's closest
to
to
the
the
double
double
bond.
bond.
So now you could draw the double bond there or there or there, you don't know where. So you need to tell this guy on the other side of the world where this is. So you're going to start numbering, as you said, closest to the double bond. So if you started here, it's 1, 2, 3. If you started here, it's 1, 2, then the double bond. So the red one is the right one. So this one is wrong. Always closest to where that double bond is. So we're going to go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we say that the double bond comes after the second carbon.
So it would be 2 pentane.
Why is it now pentane all of a sudden?
Pentene.
So it's 2 dash pentene, or you are also allowed to write it as pent. Because what are we wanting to tell them where it is? We want to tell them where the double bond is. The ENE tells me that it has double bonds. So you can also put the 2 in front of the EN, because the EN is the thing that tells me it's the double bond. So you can also go pent to EN. Because as soon as there's other things in the front of the name, then this 2 becomes a bit weird. Okay. So that's the first thing you must be able to do. Did you also do branches?
Yes.
see what you did. Where's the organic was before this? You. This chapter was actually
Yeah.
this chapter was full of stuff.
I think the one below now, on the next page.
Yeah, you did methyls, ethyls, and you did chains. You didn't do carboxylic acids and stuff.
No, no.
Okay. And alcohols? Okay. All right. So that's for the double bonds. Now, the only other thing that you can really have is then branches. So instead of this being a straight line, what can happen, oh, it's actually never a straight line. Remember, these are like worms, they can go like this. So I could also have drawn this if I wanted to. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's still straight line.
Still pentene. Oh, yeah. But if I take that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I take one of these carbons and I go put it on another place, not on this side because that's not going to help. If I take it here, that's not going to help. It's still the same thing. So I need to take it to one of the others that's not on this side. So what I'm going to do is I take this carbon away and I go and put it here or here. So I go and put it here. So now it has a side chain. Your first job is still to count the carbons, but now you just have to tell yourself, count the carbons in the longest chain. Because there's a chain and there's a chain. So you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can go 1, 2, 3. So which one is the longest? The first, oh, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is your longest chain that you can make?
So 4 pounds.
4. It doesn't matter if you do this one or you do this one, because remember, this is a flexible thing. It's the same thing. So let's do that one. So because that is still your longest chain, how many carbons in your longest chain?
4.
So what's
So
4?
it's
Bute.
butane.
Because there are still only single bonds between these carbons. Okay? But now there's something hanging onto this carbon. Okay, so this is not part of my main chain. So it's not part of the name butane. It's hanging on the side. So this is when we call it a side chain because it's hanging somewhere on the side. So that side chain, now you go and do the same thing. You count your carbons. How many carbons does that have in it?
Methane.
But now it's not methane because it's not your main chain. If it's a side chain, we put a YL at the end. We call it a methyl group. And because it's a side chain, it doesn't become part of my main name, it goes in the front.
Oh, so it always goes before.
Always goes before. So you're going to say, you're going to say methyl butane. One word. But does this guy in Germany know where it is? This methyl. This one also could only be on that one.
Yeah.
Because if you move it there, it's on the second one. If you move it there, it's still on the second one. It can't move there because it can never be on the first one. Okay, so for this one, that would be enough, but not for all of them. So let's just do one where you have to say. So 1, 2. Okay, what is that called? Okay, obviously it has its hydrogens.
So it's hex. Hex.
How many carbons? You were right. I just want to hear you say it out loud. How many carbons?
Hex.
6. So it's hex. Yes. So it's hex. Are there any double bonds?
No.
So how's the
Hex.
name gonna? Hex.
Hexane.
Okay, but now if I take one of them and I move them away, so I take this one and I Go and put it here. Is it still hexane? So now again you have to ask yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's not the longest. I think the longest one is 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it wins. So that's my longest chain. So what's my name now?
So it would be E. No.
Wait, there are 5 carbons. Don't forget step 1. 5,
Oh, so
5
it's
is
pentane.
bent. Are there any double bonds?
No.
So it's bent.
Okay.
Do that first.
Yeah.
Then you ask, are there anything else? So you know there's this one. It's a side chain. How many carbons in that side chain?
Just one.
So it's going to be
Methyl.
methyl. Where am I going to put this? In the back of the name or the front of the
In
name?
the front.
In the front of the name. So it's going to become methyl pentane.
Then
But now I need to tell them because it could be here, could be there. We don't know. So you need to tell this guy on the other side of the world. So you need to decide where to start numbering now. So if I start here, 1, 2, 3, it's on the third one, 4, 5. If I start here, 1, 2, it's on the third one again. So does it matter? Doesn't matter where I start. It's always going to be on the which carbon? Third carbon. So you're going to say 3 dash methyl pentane.
so would you always count it from like the
Close.
smallest?
Yeah. So that it has the smallest number, yeah. But. So if we now take that and instead of having that, we put another one here. Oops. Let's just make it the same molecule. So now it's like this. And now?
So the longest chain would be the 6 carbons.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. Okay, you said 6. Where did you say 6? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
Is that what you wanted to do?
yeah.
Okay. So that's now my longest chain.
Yeah.
So what's my base name going to be now?
Hexane.
Hex. Only single bonds, so it's hexane. Do I have anything else?
Yeah, you have the 2.
Those 2 carbons hanging on the side. So the side chain has 2 carbons this side. If it has 2 carbons, what is it then?
E. And so let's say it's double bonding on a chain. You can't get that.
You get it in the main chain. I'll show you now. Then you combine it. So this is ethyl. Where is the ethyl going to live? Name in the name, in the front or the back?
So you start from the like top right, because that's the shortest.
Yes. So, but you find that I'm going to put the ethyl here in the name, right? Okay. And then you worry about where it is. Yes. So let's count. If you in doubt, just number them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I started from the other side, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm not going to do that. I want it to be on the smallest number. So it's going to be that one. 3 dash ethyl hexane. One word. What if I don't only have single bonds? I have to take 2 away. Let's say I take these 2 away and I form a double bond here. What is now my longest chain?
It would still be this.
Still the 6.
Yeah.
So it's still hex. Now let me just write where I'm going to have space. So it's still hex. But is it hexane? What is it?
So it will still be hexane, hexene.
Now it's going to be hexene. But don't I have to tell them where this double bond is? So, yes, you can say hexene, but where is the double bond? After which carbon?
The first one.
The first one. So, double bond takes preference for numbering above something that hangs on this side chain. Something that forms part of your main name always gets preference in numbering. So, we want the number on that thing to be the smallest. So, it's going to be 1 hexene. But is that all we have?
And then we have the chain.
I still have a side chain. Now, where's that going to go in the name?
So it's still ether,
Still ethyl.
but it'll change because then you're saying you have to count from the double bond. So it's 1, 2. So it'll be 4 ether, 4 dash ether.
So it's going to be 4 ethyl, 4 dash ethyl. But can you see my problem now? Now, this has to go there where the 1 is.
Yeah.
So when you have something else and not just the double bond, it's better to not put the 1 in front of the hex. Go and put it by the ene. Because it shows you, ene tells you about the double bond. So go and put it in front of the ene. So it is, the ene is telling me the double bond, it is after the first one. So I'm not going to go 1 hexene, I'm going to go hex 1 ene. Then it's much cleaner in the front to go put the 4 ethyl there. So now you go and you say, okay, fine, 4 dash ethyl hexane, hex 1 ene.
So it's and then there's no dash. You said it's one word. Ether when it joins with hex 1e. It's always one word.
Wait, say again.
When the chain, so let's say ether in this case, it's always one word when it joins hex 1e.
Yeah, the only thing that's 2 words is it's the one whole thing is always going to be 1 word. You're only going to, when you do Estes next year, then you're going to have 2 words. So these, for this year, it's always going to be 1 word. So is this now so hard? Craig,
No,
is this hard? Can you see it's just because you couldn't count an organic?
yes, ma'am. So
Did you also do chloros and bromos? You didn't do that, eh? I didn't see that in the notes.
So, ma'am, can you do one of this example, ma'am?
Yeah, tell me which page.
Page 14. Ma'am. Yeah, can you do?
Okay, you can do all of them. It will go fast.
Yeah.
I want to draw on them, so I just want to take the words away. All right, let's look at that first one. So, what's your first job?
The longest chain of carbons.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it?
No.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that it? Maybe. Let's
No.
try another one.
I don't think it is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that it?
Why does it say H2? Or is that double one?
I'll show you now. Remember, when you draw the whole thing, this carbon has 2 hydrogens.
Oh,
So this is this condensed formula.
yes, I see. Oh. So, but why is there not like a line between CH2? Is that because it's at the end?
Yeah, so they there's just different ways. So this is the structural formula. This is condensed structural formula. You don't put if they say structural, you have to put them all separate. You can't go CH2. It's just laziness. So for this, for all of these, where I go C with two H's like that, this is the same as saying CH2. This is just full structural because it shows the full structure, and this is condensed structural. So
So it just basically the same thing.
this is exactly the same. So we said that's our longest chain.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how they draw it, you count the most carbons.
You
Okay.
count the number of carbons.
In the longest chain. Okay, so how many carbons in the longest chain? Oct. Are there any double bonds? Perfect. Now we need to see, is there anything hanging on?
So there are three chains.
Okay, so give them names first before you go and put them in the name. So what is this one?
So just methyl.
And this one?
This one methyl.
And this one?
It's ethyl.
But they need positions. So where are we going to start counting?
From E22.
Where you're going to still make the number the smallest, but if they're on the same one, then you're going to look at the alphabet. But this is closest here. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let me just see what she wants you to do. Actually. See, the alphabet wins. I just want to see what they told you here. Yeah. Any C branches on the main chain must be named a number and written in alphabetical order in the front of the name. Okay, so methyl will come after ethyl.
So if it's the same number from
The side, then the ethyl would win. So in this case, they're not the same number. So we'll still do. So we're just going to number 1, 2, 3.
so there's three dash methyl
Yeah.
and then another 3 dash methyl.
Yeah. So the way you do that is you put if there's two of the same things on the same number, you can join. You have to join them.
Is it 2 dot 3?
Comma. So there are two of them. So we can't just say methyl. We're not going to go methyl, methyl. So to show that there are two of them, we're going to join them up and say dimethyl. If there were three, we would say trimethyl. So di means there are two of them. Then we don't have to go and write methyl, methyl, because that would just be silly. So instead of, but where are they both? They are both on the third one. That didn't have to be the case. They could be on different ones. So you still have to say 3, 3, because they're both on 3, dimethyl. If the one was on the fourth one, then you'll go 3, 4, dimethyl.
So if it's the same.
The same, you must write it twice. So 3, 3 dimethyl must go in our name. And then where's this one? There's only one, so we don't have to worry about di and tri. But on which no 5. Now we need to decide which one's going to go first in the name. So
it would be the 3, 3 di.
Oh, the di and the tri doesn't count in the alphabet. You look at the ethyl or the methyl. So which one is first in the alphabet between ethyl and methyl?
E.
Ethyl. So ethyl is going to go first. So you're going to put 5 dash ethyl, then dash 3 comma 3 dimethyl. Sorry, I'm just running out of space here. Dash dimethyl octane.
You know. So when you name the full thing between ethyl and methyl, which
Ethyl
one
goes first because it's alphabetically first. You'll see it does say that here in your notes. It says here, any seed chains must be named and numbered and written in alphabetical order in front of the name. Okay, so it says here the prefixes di, tri, tetra must be in front of the name, but they don't count for the alphabetical thing. Okay, let's try do that middle one. Main chain. 1, 2, 3, 4 is that the longest? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is that the longest?
Yeah.
Okay. So 5 is?
Pent. Pent, and then there's a double one. So pent E.
Okay, but get used to putting the numbers in front of the E. You can just always do that because it will always be right.
Plus use
So
space.
just go pent
Dash.
something in and then say where it is. Where is it?
Second.
1, 2, 3. That's on the third one. Let's count from this side. 1, 2. After the second one. So it's going to be pent 2E.
And then you have the chain of just it's
Only one carbon?
so it's is it 3 dash methyl?
Done. Okay, then the last one. Again, what's our first job?
Fermented carbon.
Count the longest chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that work?
Yeah.
Name?
So it's hex and then dash.
Are there double bonds? Are there double bonds between those carbons? So why do you want to dash? What am I going to do?
Just N.
So you only dash if you see double bonds. What?
And then there's a branch. So then it's
Where am I going to start counting? 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4?
so it's 3 methyl.
Oops, yeah. 3 dash, don't forget methyl. Hexane.
And then there was another example also on page 14, where it's like down I think it was yeah 4 ethyl dash 3 dash methyl X
Where are
2
you?
E. That one there.
Oh, you have to draw.
Yes.
You now have to draw it. Okay, fine. We can do that as well.
Because this one's like, would you say it's a hard one?
Yeah, well, it doesn't look as if you guys have done. You haven't done the chloros and the other stuff yet, so that's fine. Okay, that's going to be a little bit weird, but it's okay. Okay, so 3 ethyl. So again, you need to decide how many carbons in your main chain.
So would you say that hex
How many carbons will hex tell you to draw? What is hex?
6?
So you do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then
Then
look,
you go to the, if you had a dash or not.
yeah,
You did. Where? After the which carbon?
second.
After the second carbon. So it doesn't matter if you go 1, 2 and then draw it, or 1, 2 and then draw it. It doesn't matter. Still the second carbon. Okay, but now if you put it there, then you must remember that you started from this side. So then this,
Like 4 liter and 3 meter.
yeah, so that you know where to put the rest. Okay, now you do the side chains. On the fourth one, there's an ethyl. Ethyl tells me that the side chain has how many carbons?
2 carbon.
So on which carbon?
4.
So you go to the fourth carbon and you go 1, 2 carbons. And you just put its hydrogens in if they ask you for structure. On the third carbon, what must I put?
There's only 1 C.
It's only 1 C.
Third carbon.
On the third carbon, so it doesn't matter if you draw it at the top or the bottom. I just like to alternate them to make the molecule look better, but you guys don't do that. So here there's going to be only 1 carbon with its hydrogens.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It was that a complicated one, Shane?
Yeah. We can do a di if you want, but if it was dimethyl, it just would mean that there are more than 1
So
methyl.
then would that mean there's 1 going down and 1 going up?
If it was 3 dash, if it was 3 comma 3,
Yeah.
yes, but it could also have been, they could have given you, let's do one, 3 ethyl, let's do 3 comma, oh, I say 3 and I write 2, 3 comma 4 dimethyl.
So saying dimethyl, you're just saying that there's 2 single carbons.
Okay, where do I start?
So you have 7 carbons.
7 carbons. Next step,
The double bond
where?
on the second, so it doesn't matter which side.
Doesn't matter. So 1, 2,
Double bond.
dash.
And then you must count from that side.
Good.
Across.
So we're going to count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And then you say on the third carbon there was 2 carbon bond.
On the third carbon, there's an ethyl.
So there's 2 carbons. Then on the third carbon going up.
Okay, I made a mistake. That could never happen. Because look, if you have another one there, what's happening to this carbon?
There's a double bond there.
There's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonds. Can a carbon have 5 bonds around it? Can only have 4. So this couldn't be on that one as well. So let's just make it a 5. So it could be on different ones. It's fine. Okay, so yes, now tell me what to do.
So then you go. So if I was like drawing it out, like drawing the thing, would it be 4 and then 5?
Yeah, sorry, I should also stop that.
I'm just making up. Sure. Then it'll be on the 4. There was single carbon,
With its hydrogens, yeah?
and then on the 5 there was also single carbon.
With its hydrogens.
Yeah.